What's good, Varsity family? And we back with another one. It's your boy Varsity. What it do? And yeah, welcome back, family. If you're part of the Varsity family, welcome back. If you're new here, that's what you need to do here. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. You already know we all gonna say it together. Go tell a friend to go tell a friend to go tell their auntie, go tell their cousin. Come on and tune in. We here reacting to a little bit of everything, the culture, music, whatever y'all send over, we gonna talk about it. And today it's something new. I ain't even know somebody sent this over, so thank y'all. Appreciate it. Appreciate the family for always supporting. So yeah, we got the Chris Angel and what's the dude name? David Blaine, magicians. I remember David Blaine from back in the day, but supposedly they was beefing. I didn't even know magicians be beefing like that. But I mean, I guess, man, there's only two of them. It's enough. It's enough space out here for two people to be out here doing magic. But clearly they beefing. So we going. Or there was a beef. Maybe I don't even know if they still doing magic. I don't even know. I'm probably in Vegas somewhere, most likely. I don't even know. I ain't heard David Blaine name in a minute. But yeah, so we gonna get into it, family. We gonna debate about it, talk about it, and you already know. Let's go.
What started as a professional rivalry over who the best magician was turned into an all-out obsession when Chris Angel realized he was living in the shadow of David Blaine. On radio shows and in interviews, Chris was always quick to throw shade at David.
You know what's kind of funny is David Blaine, which, I give him a lot of credit for what he's doing, but is known because of who he dates. I want to be known for what I do.
Oh.
Chris even dedicated an entire
Bam, 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 bam. Shots fired. Okay, bro. I see you. Shots fired out here. He started it off like that. Yeah. Fuck the girl at the click you claim. I want to be known for my magic. Okay, bro. I see you.
television segment to mocking Blaine, using a full hair and makeup team to transform himself into his arch nemesis to sell the joke. Years of tension kept building until Chris finally decided to.
You know how much you gotta hate a person to dress up like them, to do a magic trip, about like acting like them. You gotta really like take the time to dress up and get a whole stylist, whole makeup artist to dress you up like somebody. You got some, I don't know if it's hate or admiration in a way, because if you're dressing like me and you dress and put a whole this to look like me, like damn, bro, that's doing a lot if you ask me. But I don't know these niggas.
To confront David face to face backstage, and Blaine's response was more brutal than anything Chris Angel could have imagined. David Blaine had a vision for magic that nobody else did at the time. Most magicians relied heavily on visual spectacles, big sets, elaborate props, flashy costumes, and exaggerated theatrics designed to overwhelm the audience. David did the opposite. He wore plain clothes, was emotionless in the face, and gave small, focused crowds of people magic on the street for free. Stephen Chow, a former Fox executive who was chosen to produce Mr. Blaine's special, put it this way: "He's the only magician I've seen who wasn't a geek. Blaine's approach made every trick feel personal and more real. It wasn't happening on a stage far away, it was happening right in front of your face." He famously said in 1997, "The reason for magic is to enlighten people or make them happy, or let them forget their problems for 2 minutes." David's style and his mindset were authentically humble, and it made him stand out. He walked around New York City filming himself performing tricks for regular people and tried to pitch it to television networks. ABC executives decided to take a chance on it.
But that's why we used to like David Blaine. Like everybody was a fan of David Blaine back in the day. I remember, because he made that John look like it was like just a regular dude walking down the street. Hey yo, come here, and I'm about to show you some crazy shit. So that's, everybody felt like it was more personable. Chris Angel was kind of more so on the big stage. I mean, David Blaine started getting bigger and bigger with his tricks, but in the beginning, it was just kind of like, I'm just a normal dude that knows some tricks walking down the street.
And it paid off. David Blaine's street magic was packed with tricks and illusions, like when Blaine twisted his hand around several times in front of a licensed doctor outside a local hospital.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete...
This way, facing towards you. The other way. Turn to the left. Yeah, more to the left. Twist it so it's straight.
This
All
shit's
right,
crazy.
now move your foot back a little bit so you can see this. Twist your hand inwards a little bit. Like this. Go ahead. Inwards, a little bit, slowly. A little bit more. Right. Here's where it starts to get painful. With your left hand, could you grab my right hand? My fingers? Yeah. My left hand? Yeah, grab my fingers and twist them a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. Ow. Keep going. A little bit more. Keep going. Out. No. No, keep going. Keep pushing. Keep going. Yeah. I want to keep going. Keep going. No, keep going. Keep going. You hear that crack?
The show became a resounding success not just because of the tricks, but rather the stunned responses from each small audience.
13. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, it's as soon as you connect it, that's when it happens. See, where's the cards? See what I'm saying? They switch it from hand to hand. That's what it is. Here, look, check it out. Watch like this. Ready? Look, watch. Watch this. Ready? Just watch this move. Look. No, look. Watch. Look. Here's the switch, right? It's right here, right? All right. See that? That's the move, right? Yo, I'm gonna give you something. Hold this. I got something for you, man. I got a little treat, like a present for you. Oh! I didn't even know.
However, a lot of practicing magicians
you worried about the card trick? He'd have took your wallet and your watch. But that's the crazy part. Like, you just in the middle of the street and you got all these people around that's still not catching the eye or not catching the trick.
were not too fond of David. In a moment of bitter jealousy, Jamie Ian Swiss, a magician and columnist for the Genie Magic magazine, said his only skill is removing money from a wallet and handing it to a person behind the counter. David refused to respond to the hate because ultimately he was successfully completing his mission of making magic accessible to as many people as possible, and in doing so, he actually made it cool to a mainstream audience. Now, there was another magician called Criss Angel who had actually been trying to make magic look cool for years, but the harder he tried, the more it started to work against him. Criss Angel had been doing magic longer than David Blaine, but was less popular. A lot like Blaine, Criss spent most of his early magic career performing for small audiences, but he genuinely felt like a career magician by the age of 14, performing at small birthday parties and entertaining guests at a Long Island restaurant. But his initial motivation to do magic tricks for others wasn't exactly as humble as David's. I felt this incredible sense of power that an adult didn't understand how it worked, but I did. In 1987, he launched a public access magic show called Hot Kicks. 20-year-old Criss looked and dressed like a Guns N' Roses tour groupie. In 1994,
I was about to say, he looked like he one of the rock groups back in the day. You tell her he walked up talking about, I want to do magic. Nah, bro, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Keep your magic tricks to yourself, bro.
Angel made his primetime television debut in the ABC one-hour special, Secrets. Through the mid to late 90s, Criss appeared on various television specials and talk shows, using these spots to showcase his edgy, rock-influenced take on magic. He leaned heavily into the dark magician image. Gothic leather clothing and heavy metal soundtracks complemented the grungy aesthetic of the 90s.
I thought magicians were very cheesy, quite honestly.
Play Scratchers $10 and up from the Arizona Lottery and enter the $1 Million Mega Market giveaway.
I was much more about the generation of MTV, you know, Zeppelin and, you know, some of the 80s bands and, you know, music and that culture and that vibe and that energy that you got from it, and magicians weren't doing that.
Now, there was no structured career path to being a successful magician. Unlike musicians or actors, magicians didn't have a thriving mainstream pipeline. There were no Netflix specials, no social media clips to go viral overnight, and TV networks only greenlit magic shows sparingly. If you weren't already a big-name magician, such as Copperfield or Penn and Teller, you had to get extremely creative to market yourself and make money. And for someone like Criss, who basically wanted to be the first rock star magician, the market was even narrower. Despite the odds being stacked against him, Criss had an incredible drive. He was well into his 30s, still fully dedicated to making this dream into a career. Meanwhile, David Blaine rapidly passed him in popularity. Blaine's ABC show made him a household name, and he quickly shifted from simple card tricks to unbelievable endurance stunts that blurred the line between illusion and human survival. Unlike a magic trick where you know there's some secret method behind the illusion, Blaine's endurance feats felt brutally real. Although certain precautions are set to ensure that he doesn't die, there's no obvious trick to things like being buried alive, which is a stunt Blaine dedicated to his idol, Harry Houdini, who was buried 6 feet underground without a casket almost a century earlier. In 1999, David spent 7 days sealed inside of a glass coffin under a water tank in New York City. His friend Bill Kalush initially suggested that he fake the stunt, but Blaine refused because he thought it would actually be easy.
So we got a coffin from Queens where actually Houdini was buried. I bought a coffin.
First of all, being buried alive is crazy, and then all them days, that's another, like, mentally, like, it take a toll on your physical body being in one position for that long. Like, you gotta be, it's a lot of preparation for that. He ain't just show up and just do it. Like, he prepped for that, but it's crazy to think of that.
We brought it back to his house, and then I would just practice sleeping in the coffin. Then suddenly, but then suddenly I realized you don't eat food, and then if you have a little thing to go to the bathroom, I did 4 days like nothing. So I'm like, okay, I can do a week.
Blaine did not eat for 2 weeks before the stunt, but continued drinking water prior to and during the stunt. He was sealed in a see-through coffin beneath 6 tons of water. Oxygen was transferred in and out of the holes above his head. A catheter was inserted into Blaine's bladder to safely drain any urine, and spectators could come and go whenever they wanted. He said people would shine flashlights on him at 2 a.m. to make sure he was really in there. This was no trick. This was the real deal, but he took it even further. The following year, he executed his Frozen in Time stunt. David Blaine was fully encased in ice in the middle of Times Square while lightly dressed in a long-sleeve shirt, pants, and a beanie. He had a tube that supplied air, water, and another that removed urine. The ice was transparent and elevated so people could see that he was inside the entire time. He couldn't sleep or move because touching the ice for too long would cause frostbite. He just had to stand there, freezing, alone with his thoughts. Around hour 55, his eyes went out and he began hallucinating. He was talking to imaginary people, felt like spiders were crawling all over him, and said that minutes took hours.
I mean, if you're in there in an ice block, I would assume your body just start going into shock. So the spiders is probably just your nerves twitching and all that, trying to get some type of warmth or something, or your body going through, like, hypothermia or something crazy. Like, that's the crazy part. But yeah, like, once again, preparation for this man is low-key insane. But yeah, I mean, they say all great people is crazy. So, but yeah, like, this is insane.
Hours to pass by. On the brink of death, medics were forced to remove him from the ice after 63 hours. This time, the critics were silenced. There was no way to fake this. Whether you saw it on TV or in real life, you knew this guy was on a different level. What's interesting is that almost immediately after Frozen in Time, Criss Angel performed a somewhat similar stunt. He spent 24 hours submerged in a tank of water, also in the middle of Times Square. Now at the time, Criss wasn't known for endurance feats. He was actually still promoting his theater show, Criss Angel Mind Freak, off Broadway, and reviews were not so great. Though in interviews, Angel has poo-pooed the cheesy nature of standard magic shows, his disappearances, quick changes, and levitations are really standard Blackstone, Copperfield stuff, a bit of a letdown considering the impressive costumes and postmodern flashiness. Criss's career was headed in the wrong direction, so is it fair to assume that he may have taken inspiration from the guy who was getting worldwide praise in the same?
I mean, why not? If he kind of doing this thing, this endurance magic, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump piggyback on it. I mean, everybody kind of do it, when one thing is hot, everybody jumping on it, and that's kind of how the trend, and keeping the running off a story for however long it's hot. So can't knock them for doing it if it worked. Now granted, like, you did something basically the same as he just did, but I mean,
field. In 2002, Criss put himself in handcuffs and shackles, then submerged himself underwater in a cramped chamber. The entire time he breathed through an air hose and occasionally interacted with spectators through the glass. And of course, in the video edit, they had to include someone saying that David was inferior to Criss Angel.
I think he's better than David Blaine in my opinion.
However, even though Criss's challenge was physically demanding, it lacked the life or death edge that Blaine's challenges carried. In his post-stunt interview, he seems entirely fine and full of excitement and energy. Then, in a moment, he is seemingly lifeless, being hauled into an ambulance.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, everybody, very much. New York is the greatest place in the world! New York City rocks!
Even if someone thought Chris
New York City rocks! And just pass out. I need some air. He played into it. But he could have did a little bit better. New York City rocks! That's funny.
and David might be neck and neck when it comes to who can push the limits of the human body further, David would quickly prove that there was no competition. In the middle of Manhattan, Blaine stood atop a 2-foot wide pillar nearly 10 stories tall for 2 days and 2 nights. No food, no water, no sleep, and nothing to sit or lean on. There was also no safety net or precautions set in place in case he fell. Most people could not stand for 35 hours straight, let alone being 100 feet in the air, constantly battling the wind. In his 2003 stunt, Above the Below, he'd be confined in a 3-foot by 7-foot by 7-foot transparent plexiglass block suspended 30 feet in the air in London. His goal was to stay in this box for over a month with no food, access to bathrooms, just enough resources to survive, and he lasted 44 days.
Bruh. Standing on a little pillar for 2 days straight. 2 days and 2 nights. Full 48 hours. You know how many people would have fell off that thing? I wouldn't be able to last. I know. 2 days just standing in the same spot. And then you got to worry about, the gust of wind of the city, wherever you was at. Standing in the same spot. Like, you can't really, maneuver or move around too much. I don't think a lot of us would last. And then staying in a box for 44 days. This whole staying in the box thing, he got that thing mastered. Coffin, the ice block, clear box. Like, he got the box thing mastered. Like, that whole mind over matter thing, I think he got that part figured out. Criss Angel, I don't know. I ain't seen that.
Most important experiences in my life.
There are so many reasons to love the play with the Arizona Lottery, like conserving Arizona wildlife.
In that little box for the heavy years.
With each new stunt, David Blaine proved he was not tricking people, but testing the body and spirit in front of millions. He wasn't.
I'm surprised he was able to talk coming out that box and not really having no food or nothing like that all this time. I'm surprised he able to have the energy or to stand up and talk. But once again, testing your body, testing the mind. So yeah, I get it.
Just a magician, he was an artist, receiving worldwide recognition and praise. Interviews on mainstream talk shows, fans across the globe, and superstar girlfriends like Kill Bill actress Daryl Hannah. Blaine made magic interesting and respected on a mainstream level, proving to networks that audiences were entertained by it. So when A&E took a chance on Criss Angel's reality TV show called Mind Freak, it was clear that they wanted their own magic star to capitalize on this cultural wave. However, Criss could not compete with David's level of dedication. Blaine treated his stunts like scientific experiments, spending months or years training with world-class doctors, freediving experts, and neurosurgeons to understand the limits of the human body. Every second of his preparation was real, and the risks could have cost him his life. Criss, on the other hand, was producing dozens of Mind Freak episodes per year, and the further you look into the formula behind it, the more you realize it is the furthest thing from magic. Criss Angel blew the minds of anyone under the age of 12 with the release of his show Mind Freak. He accomplished incredible stunts like walking on water in a hotel pool filled with people. There's absolutely no way that there could be some sort of plexiglass bridge to help him with this stunt, or when he levitated from one building to another, and he did it in front of people. Or my personal favorite, when he told this little girl that he would transform into a 10-year-old boy by sliding down this slide at a playground.
Maybe I could be 10 years old again.
come on, bruh. Like, he was playing on the whole cheesy aspect of Magic. David Blaine out here really doing like, it's a Magic, but it's like durability type of endurance, body challenging Magic. Like, I'm gonna test myself and put it to the limit of what nobody else can do. I'm gonna slide down a sliding board and change myself into a 10-year-old. Low key, we should have been worried about that, but we're not even gonna get into that side of the story. We're just gonna leave it where it's at. We just going, that's moving. Stop.
Chris Angel also consistently claimed that he could walk through solid objects, such as doors or closed windows.
I've proven that a solid can pass through a solid. I've demonstrated it literally when I passed through a storefront window.
Cat.
As I passed through a taxi cab. Go!
He would tell you to look, but then cover up what you are supposed to look at in the name of magic. Him walking through a metal fence was one of the most egregious examples. And of course, a magician is never supposed to reveal his secrets. But the problem is, magicians have an unspoken agreement with their audience. We know it's an illusion, but we also know it's possible with skill, misdirection, or ingenuity.
Right.
Mind Freak didn't feature illusions you could admire or potentially recreate. It was nothing more than a product of crappy reality TV. The key components that made Mind Freak work had nothing to do with Chris Angel actually defying physics. Firstly, the show relied heavily on stooges, which is the term for paid actors pretending to be random bystanders who would gasp and scream right on cue.
See, this is the type of magician that we laugh at. This is why people will be like, come on with the magic shit, bro. Like, yeah. Like, a David Blaine is the type of person like can walk in the room and just do some random shit, and he still got like regular tricks and stuff that he figure out. But this is like, come on, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? And you trying
Camera
to beef with
effects
David
did the
Blaine?
rest. Strategic cuts, tricky angles, and edits that concealed wires, trapdoors, or entire set pieces. And sometimes these can be really interesting, like when he laid on this bed of nails and had an 8,000-pound truck rest on top of him. You know it's not real, but it does genuinely have you wondering how they did that. But they often got lazy. One of his favorite tricks was just putting a tarp over something and then making it disappear. It's such a wildly unimpressive stunt that is so easy to edit. It just leaves you to believe that the show was made for children. Like in this clip where he puts a bike underneath a tarp and you can see the bottom of the wheel, then in the next frame the shape looks entirely different and he magically makes the bike disappear.
Ow!
Gotta do better, bro. Gotta do better.
You look at my back, do that right now in front of my face.
I swear half of this show was just him covering things up with a tarp and making it disappear and then levitating to his next stunt. And then there were the Mind Freak consultants, which were basically just actors that were hired to provide testimonials that everything he was doing was real and high stakes.
There's real danger involved with this, and I try to talk him out of doing this. Chris Angel is certainly one to help people escape from the everyday mundane with the stunts that he performs. Chris has played with fire before, and he's not been burned. A little bit, but not enough to hurt and kill him. This time, he's putting himself in a situation. Why? Because it's not enough. It's that amping things up.
As the seasons went on, the episodes got more insane, unbelievable, and uncreative. Like, look at this clip where he acts like a forklift went through his stomach. Or when he cut.
What in the why would we need? Why did we need that? We didn't need it at all. But why would that be in the creative idea room? Like, you know what we need to do? Stick a forklift through my stomach and we gonna make it look like it's real with the paid actors that we got. And then, yeah, voila, guys.
A woman in half.
pull right now. Let's pull. Pull!
He seemed to be obsessed with the idea that he could defy or cheat death, and so was David Blaine, but the difference was David was actually doing it. Chris was just making it look like he was doing it. Now, was it wildly unhinged and entertaining TV? Yes. When Mind Freak aired in the summer of 2005, it drew in over 1 million viewers on average before peaking at 3 million during the third season's premiere. However, the biggest problem with the show is that Chris insisted so hard on presenting everything as authentic and real, because when you hear him taunt and challenge David Blaine, it starts to make you think his ego got to his head. The beef started when Blaine attempted to break the world record for holding his breath underwater. The record at the time was just shy of 9 minutes. He could already do a few minutes easily, but his theory was that if he could spend 7 days submerged in a tank of water, his body would adapt to the conditions, and then he would remove the oxygen and escape from the tank slightly over 9 minutes to break the world record. After 7 days submerged in a tank at Lincoln Center, Blaine removed his breathing apparatus and attempted his escape. However, the movement of his body caused him to waste additional oxygen. He blacked out at 7 minutes 8 seconds and had to be saved, making the stunt a failure. Criss Angel took this moment to claim that
But that's crazy. He was already in the water for 7 days and then take it out and he still held his breath for 9 minutes or 7 minutes. The bull nice. The bull nice. Criss Angel, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. I don't even know why you challenging this. I don't even know why there was a challenge. Like, bro, you're not even on his level.
David was copying his 24 hours underwater stunt from 2002.
Well, I think he just did something that wasn't so successful.
What, the orb thing?
In water. It was like, dude.
It's like, what? He's in a big, like, goldfish bowl for what? It was 2 days, 3 days?
It was a long day. The thing is, I did it already, and it's just weird why
and you did it more spectacular.
Bro, you did it for 24 hours. My man's was in there for 7 days. And then still held his breath for another 7 minutes. Is it just me? Is it just y'all tell me? Is it just me? Like, I don't think Bull is on this level. I don't even understand what he talking about right now. Like, even if he got the idea for you, he took the idea, ran with it, and made it a little bit more his own and elaborate with it. But I mean,
whatever. He's a good guy. I wish him the best.
You could tell he had been waiting for a reason to call him out.
You know what he's going through, and I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why he is doing something that's been done before. I don't know if he's running out of stuff.
Now, the two stunts were very different. Chris did 24 hours underwater just to make a grand escape, whereas Blaine did 7 days. Plus, he was trying to break the record for holding one's breath. And Chris's 24-hour stunt came after Blaine's stunt, where he was encased in ice for over 2 days. It is wild for Chris to compare the one time he did an endurance feat to any of David's, but he didn't stop there.
Just to cut to the chase, I respect David. He is a creation of television and did a fantastic job doing what he does. I'm willing, and I've said this before, I think his biggest fear is me, because I'm the real deal.
The guy who pretends
he bold for that one. He bold for that one. His biggest fear is me. How, Sway? Where? What is the competition? You doing fake stunts with TV camera tricks and fake people. My man was walking in the streets of New York doing tricks, floating in the air. What level of competition are we? I want what he's sipping on. I want what he's sipping on, because, man, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost where the competition is even at. Not even in the same. Y'all not even in the same. You could be in the field, but you're really not in the field.
Can fly and cut people in half for a living, who hires actors to react to it and uses heavy special effects to create the illusion, calling himself the real deal, is bold. He also claimed that David talked badly about him in the press, and I looked extremely hard to find proof of that, but I could not.
I'm going to put everything on the line, because the truth of the matter is he talked a big game in the public about me. It was on the radio, and but when it came down to it, we tried to contact him to set it up. He wanted no part of it.
Why would he talk about you? We not playing the same game, bro. You doing Hollywood stunts. My man's doing real endurance stunts, real tricks. Y'all tell me if
I'm
I'm
just the type of person that, what I do is what I say, what I say is what I do, and I just expect people to, be the same. And unfortunately, he wasn't. But anytime, I'll quit my career if I lose. I'm totally serious. I mean, I have
anything he'll do, he'll do.
Anything he wants to do, anytime, any place.
Chris was hellbent on having some sort of trick-for-trick magic duel like they were boxers in a ring. He insisted on turning magic into a competition, and no true magic fan is sitting at home saying, my favorite magician could beat your favorite magician. It's not like sports where you keep score and crown a champion. It's about creating wonder, mystery, and letting an audience suspend their disbelief for a moment. Plus, I found no evidence of this magic duel that he claims David was running from. He even had the audacity to claim that David Blaine, who was much more famous than Criss Angel, was only popular because he was dating superstar models and actresses.
What's kind of funny is David Blaine, which, I give him a lot of credit for what he's doing, but is known because of who he dates. I want to be known for what I do.
I mean, we talked about it in the beginning, but now hearing the context of everything, bro, you sound like a hater. You sound like a hater. Like, I don't know what's up with you, gang. Like, just sound like a hater. Like, why you so you press? You press for what? For what, gang?
What makes this criticism even worse is that Criss Angel was the one dating way more high-profile women. Britney Spears, Cameron Diaz, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, just to name a few. It was starting to look more and more like Chris was just jealous. David had performed for sitting presidents in the White House, like when he had a funny interaction with George Bush, shaking his arms and managing to steal his watch with some sleight of hand.
Say a number from 1. Well, think of a number from 1 to 20.
Yeah, got it.
17? Here, I got a present for you.
Was it 17?
Right, it was 17.
Yeah. But I have a present for Mr. President. It's a...
Oh, God. He took my watch off.
Meanwhile, Criss Angel brought in a Barack Obama impersonator and acted like it was really him. David never responded to any of Chris's criticism.
Come on, bro. You just following my man's footsteps at this point. Like, jeez, man. Get your own life. Like, goodness gracious.
But Chris was on a warpath. He was determined to send a message to Blaine, something that he would have to respond to. So he dedicated an entire segment on his show Mind Freak to making fun of David Blaine. In the episode, Chris did a full hair and makeup transformation to make him look exactly like David. Then he mimicked his stoic voice and demeanor in a way that made him seem boring and dry.
I don't know if I can get off. It's kind of hard. Watch.
Chris seemed really bent out of shape that people still talked about David Blaine's levitation illusion from over 10 years ago at that point. Chris is clearly upset that the only time people talk about his levitations, they mention how obviously fake they are. Are we really supposed to believe this man floated Shaquille O'Neal over a house? Like, what are we talking about here? Throughout the
This dude must think we dumb. He must think that we just out here like just stupid people. That you floated Shaq over a house. And this was all just magic. Come on, man. I'm not even... You know what? I'm going to just be quiet for the rest of this video because this wasn't a beef. This ain't really no beef at all. This is one guy's obsession with another one. Pause. And but it's gotten a little bit obsessive and it's crazy. My man got a supermodel wife. You went and found every supermodel chick you could find or every celebrity you could find to date. We don't know about no receipts, about no magic off. Who even wants to watch that anyway? I can't say we can't even fathom what that would even look like. Who's going to tune into that? You doing all the dudes tricks. It's Criss Angel, man. I hope you're not still out there doing magic. If you is, I hope it's real at least at this point. I would hope so.
Sketch, Chris set up multiple failed tricks to make it seem like David was terrible at the craft.
a card. Don't tell me what it is. Queen of Hearts. 7 of Hearts. I want you to think of that number and concentrate on it.
Okay.
The number you're thinking of is 32.
No.
Criss Angel ended this bit by mocking David even further and claiming that his career was in shambles.
7101.
7101. That was the number I was thinking of. It's weird. I think I have to get up for free now because I was thinking in my mind 7101.
Why can't I get it to you?
I'm David Blaine.
I'm sure at this point you realize this was no rivalry. It was a one-sided obsession. Criss Angel was so fixated on David Blaine, and David just didn't care. Within the past 15 years since this episode released, David never once mentioned Criss in interviews, never clapped back, never even acknowledged him publicly. The harder Criss tried to tear David down, the more obvious it became that he was measuring his own worth against him. Angel wanted the recognition that Blaine had, which is silly because he was wildly successful himself. Mind Freak was a cultural phenomenon. His Las Vegas residencies alone generated over $150 million in tourism revenue in a single year, and his global ventures, from touring shows to merchandise and magic kits, have contributed to a net worth estimated between $50 and $70 million. Clearly, there was plenty of room in the world for two magicians to be wildly successful, but
you would think with all the money that my man got, you touring and everything. See, this is the thing. This is what it is. He want to be a magician so bad. Like, he want to be getting into the in rooms. Like, comedians, all the comedians, they meet up. They all, party together. The in rooms where you can get in ball players, football players, baseball, anything. Any of those rooms where the elite of that talent go and can hang out. And he can't get into those rooms because we all know this is like Hollywood prop magic. It ain't really magic. It's just sleight of eye. You make us look over here with a flashy suit and you going over there. Or, sleight of eye with the hand card tricks or anything like that. It's not like real magic where it's credible to other magicians. Let's say it that way. It's probably good for the millions of people who's watching the show, millions of people who's going to a show in Vegas and all that, millions of people who's going to his tour. Yeah, it's a great illusionist. You're an illusionist. You're not a magician. He's been fighting to get into the magician room all these years and ain't never made it. Bruh, just take your money and go sit down and relax, chill. I hope you're good at this point because you're never going to get in that room. Never at this point.
Criss never let it go. They went in their separate directions for over a decade, both having successful TV shows, one where David does tricks like actually inserting a needle all the way through his hand, and one where Criss Angel still pretends to rip people in half. They both continued to have wildly successful Las Vegas live shows, but ultimately, after all this time, Criss Angel just could not get David Blaine out of his head. And recently, Criss would open up for the first time about his obsession on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast, sharing that he always felt like he deserved to be on the throne.
Listen, David Blaine, I give props to. He came out, did Street Magic, blew up before I did. Give him all the props in the world. When he was coming up, I was very aggressive because I had a dream, I had a vision in my mind, I wanted to accomplish it. Whatever David is doing, I can do it. And I'll do it side by side with him. I guarantee you that whatever he does, I'll last longer, I'll do it better, I'll do whatever. Because I was committed to give my life to beating him or anyone else. Because I had something so bad that I wanted, and he had it. So he had a big target on his head.
This is the most honest Criss has been with himself in a long time. He admits that he saw David as a competitive target and that he had the status that Criss always wanted. However, he failed to understand that he created an extremely one-sided rivalry, which is why it was extremely awkward when he approached David Blaine backstage in 2023 after never meeting in person for their entire lives.
I saw him and I went to his show and I was like, dude, I just want to wipe the slate clean. I've never met you before, so I just want to say, like, no hard feelings. Like, I apologize for anything that might have offended you or anything like that. I took off. I had a beautiful, beautiful ring, 20 G's. I took it off and I said, this is for you. And I said, let's build a friendship and stuff like that. Because I'm talking, this was in like the early 2000s that this went down. And I gave it to him and he's like, oh, I can't accept this because I'm a minimalist. And then he called his friend over and was like, hey, let's put it in a museum. Like, you could do whatever you want with it. I'm giving it to you. And then the guy comes in. He's like, oh, okay, thank you, Chris. I was like, well, I gave it to David.
Yeah.
If he wants to give it to you, that's his business because it's a gift from me. And then I was like, yeah, let's do a picture. And he's like, oh, I can't do a picture with just you and me alone. And it's just bizarre, dude. Like, just bizarre.
Why would I do this, bro? You've been doing this, taking shots at me all these years. You come over and you ain't even get a ring for me. You knew you was coming to my show. You're going to take a ring off of your finger and give it to me as a, hey, this is a token of my appreciation. Let's be cool. Yeah, I'm going to just pass this off to one of my homies. I'm good. I'm good, bro. That's like, all right, appreciate it. You want this ring? I don't want it. You want it? Go put it in a museum or sell it off to somebody. I don't care. Like, it appreciate it. All right, let's take a picture. Nah, just me and you taking a picture? It ain't that deep, bro. It ain't that deep. I appreciate it. We keep moving. Like, he's still looking to find something or find a way. Like, bro, you can't trust people. Like, this is a nigga that wants your energy. He just wanna, like, bro, nah, we good. Handshake, move around. Like, this bull. This
behavior.
bull.
And
Family,
it's like,
this
dude,
is too
grow
much.
up.
Chris failing to understand why David wants nothing to do.
Why do you got break? This is this is the exact reason why he didn't want to hug him. This is no picture, no nothing. What why? Family, this has been a lot. This has been a lot. And I ain't never even watched this. I remember David, but I didn't barely even remember Chris Angel like that. This has been a lot. This magician got a lot going on with him.
With him is peak delusion, and continuing to claim that it was David who was in the wrong is dangerous levels of coping.
Wasn't like we had a fist fight. It's not like we ever even met before. It's not like we ever even had a conversation on the phone. Nothing. It was just some banter in the press because I wanted to succeed. And he's ripped me off with stuff that I've done. Like, I've been underwater for 24 hours, then he borrowed that, and then he did it later, which is totally cool. Like, God bless him. Like, it's not a big deal.
Chris Angel always wanted David Blaine to validate him as an equal or even as a rival, but David never gave him that satisfaction. Not once did Blaine clap back in an interview, never acknowledged him in the press, never even hinted that Chris was on his radar, and that silence spoke louder than anything. To David, there was no rivalry, no competition, nothing to respond to, and since Chris was incredibly successful himself, he had to sit there and justify why David wanted nothing to do with him. Oh, he must be the weird one. Oh, he is insecure about copying me. Or he is afraid of facing me in a magic duel. He spent years projecting his insecurities onto someone who just didn't care. David simply went about his career, unbothered. Chris thought that once they finally met in real life after over 20 years, he will get the response he wanted. And better yet, he could be seen as the better person for squashing the beef. But instead of finally getting closure, he was met with the same thing he'd always gotten from David Blaine. Nothing. And nothing stings more than realizing your greatest rival never even saw you as one.
Wasn't even a rival. Once again, we wasn't playing the same game. You wasn't even in the league that David Blaine was in. What is you doing? Stick to yourself. Be yourself, family. We all know this. We gonna keep it between us. Be yourself. You know what I mean? Half the time they say when you meet your idols, they become your rivals. And sometimes you meet your rivals, you in competition by yourself because they wasn't even paying attention to you. They looking at the sky and you looking at the bottom of their feet. Come on, man. It's another one down. Appreciate y'all for sending this one over, family. Yeah, this is different. This was a different one, but yeah, we can see how it goes. Same nonsense, sports related culture, whatever. But until next time, Varsity out.